Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the new Community Day Obstruct OBSTAGOON in the Summer Cup. First off, Obstruct is a definite upgrade for OBSTAGOON. While it doesn't do a lot of damage, it lowers your opponent's defense while raising your own. This gives OBSTAGOON win cons in matchups that it couldn't previously win, like the Swampert 1 shield, but throwing Obstruct is not preferred for every single matchup. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out Obstruct OBSTAGOON in action in the Summer Cup. Hopping into the first match, leading Noctowl into Ariados. This is a commanding lead. Opponent safe switches into a Bubble Jellicent, and I respond with OBSTAGOON. They do farm up enough for an Ice Beam. Bubble and Ice Beam Jellicent still does lose even shield scenarios, but can typically win against OBSTAGOON if they commit a shield and OBSTAGOON does not. I go straight for the Night Slash, because Night Slash is going to do a ton of damage. I farm up, and this time I'm going to bait with Obstruct. Can we get the shield? Yes, we do. That lowers their defense while raising my own. This means that I can now survive the Ice Beam, make it to the Night Slash, and if they want to win switch, they're going to have to give up both shields. That's exactly what they do, but OBSTAGOON has done its job, as now I have a 2-0 shield advantage, and I can load up on energy with Noctowl. I do shield up the Ice Beam, and I'm just going to overfarm quite a bit in this matchup, and I'm able to farm all the way down. In the back, they have Wall Rain, and I have a ton of energy. I'm going to fire off the Sky Attack, and then immediate switch into Vigoroth, and my opponent brings back out the Ariados. With the energy lead, I'm able to outpace Ariados and reach a Body Slam before they're able to debuff me. That is big, because after the lunges, my Body Slams are not going to be doing as much damage. They go for the lunge, I tank it, and I'm able to reach another Body Slam. With the debuff, this is not going to be enough to KO, but it will start to get that Ariados low. Unfortunately, it's not looking like I'm going to be able to counter down, so I am going to need to fire off a move at the last second. So I shield up the lunge, and I'm going for the Body Slam just so we can get rid of the Ariados. And now it's all up to Noctowl, basically, because Wall Rain is going to be able to fire off a move to take out the Vigoroth. Shadow Ball does more in neutral situations than Sky Attack, so I bring in the Noctowl, throw a few wing attacks, and I'm going for the Shadow Ball. Is this going to be enough to KO the Wall Rain? It is not. They reach a move, but this is not a Shadow Wall Rain. Noctowl will easily tank the Icicle Spear, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, picking up a dominating lead, Noctowl into Trevenant. Opponent safe switches into Swampert, and I respond with OBSTAGOON. This is a matchup where OBSTAGOON can win the one shield going straight Obstruct, but since this Swampert has an energy lead, I'm not going to quite be able to do that. I'm going to fire off the first Obstruct. That way, I can raise my defense while lowering theirs, and that means that future Hydro Cannons are going to be doing less damage, whereas my counters are doing more. So I tank the Hydro Cannon. I know they have an energy lead, so I'm actually going to fire off the Night Slash. This would KO from this range, so they're forced to commit a shield, and now I'm just going to go for the counter down. Their defense is lowered. I'm just going to shield up. They go for the Hail Mary Sludge Wave. I'm able to counter down and leave with a ton of energy. In comes Trevenant, and I'm going straight for the Night Slash. Unfortunately, a little bit of lag. I missed some bubbles. Night Slash still does a lot of damage, and I'm able to get the boost. Typically, a Seed Bomb would kill from this range, but not with the defense boost from Obstruct. I'm able to tank it, fire off a second Night Slash, take down the Trevenant. We get another boost. Wall Rain farms down. In comes the Vigoroth. Opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match. Hopping into the next match, picking up a terrible lead, Noctowl into Wall Rain. I save switch into Vigoroth, and my opponent responds with Trevenant. Things off to a pretty awful start in this match, countered on the lead and on the swap. I'm going to fire off one Body Slam with Vigoroth, and then honestly, I'm not going to fire off another charge move. I can't flip this no matter what, so at this point, I just want them to take me out, so that way I can get some massive farm with my Noctowl. So I don't fire off a move on Vigoroth, so this way, I get more farm with the Owl. In comes Owl, and I'm just going to fully commit to the farm down. This way, I can get a nice energy lead over the Wall Rain. Noctowl farms up, they actually pivot, give me switch advantage, and they bring in OBSTAGOON, and now I'm in a great spot to close out this match, because my OBSTAGOON should have a ton of play in the endgame. They are going to fire off a Night Slash, recognizing that they need the damage as opposed to going for the boost from Obstruct. I'm going to fire off another Sky Attack, able to get a shield. I'm just going to wait till they throw. I'm not shielding anything. I'm saving my shields for OBSTAGOON. I bring in my own OBSTAGOON. OBSTAGOON able to counter down theirs. And now we have OBSTAGOON going up against the core it loves to see the most, Walrein and Trevenant. I'm going to shield the first because I'm going straight for the Obstruct. I want to make sure that I can raise my defense while lowering theirs. I fire off the Obstruct. I get a shield from the Walrein. That is absolutely massive. They're going to fire off another move. You know what? I'm going to shield this up. I should be in a pretty comfortable position. Back in comes Trevenant. I'm firing off the Night Slash. This will easily take down the Trevenant, and from here, this game is over. I will be able to reach the Night Slash. Night Slash will be taking down the Walrein, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, letting Noctowl into another Trevenant. Absolute dream lead. Opponent is going to immediately save switch into their own Vigoroth, and I'm going to respond with my own. Honestly, I'm very happy to be in this situation because the only good matchup Trevenant has against my team is against my Vigoroth, and I'm basically getting rid of it. So at this point, I'm not too worried about getting switch advantage. All I want, if at all possible, is to try and get a shield advantage. They have committed one shield. I'm going to see if I can try and get that second shield here. My Vigoroth on very low HP, able to reach the last second Body Slam. Body Slam takes out their Vigoroth, and I am actually able to win switch advantage as my opponent doesn't want to give up that final shield. They bring in Trevenant. Trevenant able to get a nice farm down. In comes Noctowl. In the back, they have Walrein, and now it is OBSTAGOON time. In this particular situation, you do typically just want to go straight for the Night Slash, as it is going to do a lot of damage onto that Walrein compared to the lesser damage from Obstruct. They fire off the Icicle Spear. That's totally fine. From this range, honestly, I can let this go. I'm in a very comfortable position here. I can fully farm down, and you know what? I'm going to throw an Obstruct. Let's lower their defense. They're already losing to Noctowl, but let's confirm it. I'm able to buff up my defense as well, and I'm able to reach another move. Night Slash gets the shield, in comes Noctowl, and there's nothing this Trevenant can do here. They fire off the Seed Bomb. I return fire with the Sky Attack. Sky Attack will be easily taken down the Trevenant, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading Noctowl into Walrein. Terrible lead, immediate save switch into Vigoroth, and my opponent responds with Buzzwole. Things off to a pretty awful start in this match, as I don't have a way to win switch in an even shielding scenario. They're going to fire off a move just before I'm able to reach my second Body Slam, and I'm just going to let this go, because at this point, I'm not in a fabulous spot whatsoever. I'm going to bring in the Noctowl here, and here, I definitely should have waited my clock and let them throw moves, because now I'm switch locked in against the Walrein. I fire off the Sky Attack to try and burn my switch clock. It's still not up, and I'm going to have to tank an Icicle Spear. Now it's all up to OBSTAGOON. Can OBSTAGOON take out whatever's in back? It cannot, as they have a Vigoroth. I'm going to fire off the Obstruct. At this point, this game's over. But let's check it out for science. I'm able to buff up my defense, and as you can see, despite the fact that they're hitting for double super effective and I'm only hitting for single super effective, there's not a ton of difference in terms of the HP, but either way, I concede the match. Great lead in the next match, Noctowl into Tropius. My opponent save switches into Crustle, and I'm going to respond with OBSTAGOON. Vigoroth is typically the safer play here, but since we do have Obstruct, let's see how it can perform going up against the Crustle. My goal is to basically take out the Crustle while leaving the OBSTAGOON with as little health as possible, so that way Tropius can't get a lot of farm. So I'm going to fire off the Obstruct. It's not enough to KO, and they're able to reach a move, but with that defense buff, X-Scissor, not enough to KO, and I'm able to win switch advantage while giving Tropius basically no farm. Back in comes the Tropius. They're able to farm down my goon. I bring in Noctowl. In the back, they have Marcargo, and I'm in a very comfortable position to close out this game. I'm going to call that it's only going to be a Rock Tomb, which it is, and Vigoroth is just able to put in a ton of work here. At this point, I'm just going to go straight Body Slam. It's resisted, but the counters are doing so much damage here. Looks like they are going for an Incinerate farm down, but that is a very tall ask. I'm going to fire off the Body Slam. That gets them low. I'm going to fire off one more Body Slam. This should force a simultaneous KO, Body Slam KOs, so does the Incinerate. It's Noctowl versus the Tropius, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading into the Noctowl Mirror. In this particular instance, I'm just going to farm up a ton of energy, wait for them to throw a move, and then I'm going to save switch into my Vigoroth. I tank the Sky Attack, in comes Vigoroth, and my opponent responds with their own. So odds are we could be running the same team. I'm going to fire off a Body Slam, and I'm able to get a shield. That's quite nice. I do live a Body Slam from this range, so I am going to be letting that through. That's perfectly fine, and I'm going to fire off a last-second Body Slam of my own. This is going to get the opponent quite low. They do decide to let it through, as they'll be able to survive it. I bring in my Noctowl. They're going to be able to reach a Body Slam, but this does not KO. So I'm going to tank it, go for the farm down, and I leave with a ton of energy loaded. I'm hoping they bring in the Obstagoon, but they do not. They bring in the Noctowl. I'm going to fire off the Sky Attack to get some chip damage, bring in my own Obstagoon, and my opponent is staying in and firing off a move. They do want to grab a shield before they switch, but honestly, that's fine by me because I have a massive energy lead here. I'm going to farm up to the back-to-back moves, fire off the Night Slash because this is enough damage to KO. Is it the Goonin back? Yes, it is. I'm going to farm up to the Obstruct, but go for the Night Slash as it will do more damage. I'm able to get a shield. And at this point, all I have to do is land a second Night Slash, and that will do enough damage to put it into a range where a Sky Attack will KO. So I commit the shield, fire off the Night Slash. This will do a solid chunk of resisted damage. Quick swap back into the Noctowl. Sky Attack will be taking care of the Obstagoon, and we clutch out another win. Hopping into the final match, leading Noctowl into yet another Trevenant, the absolute perfect lead. They save switch into Vigoroth, and I'm going to mirror with my own. Typically, it's not advisable to switch into a mirror match down energy, but as I mentioned earlier, I don't really care about switch advantage in this game. If at all possible, all I want to do is just try and get shield advantage, and then I should be in a pretty nice spot, and I'm able to get shield advantage. They go for the farm down, they don't get there, and they lose CMP, a massive mistake. I'm able to get both shields, and they're stuck firing off a Body Slam. Let's go. That is huge. And now I can bring in my Noctowl. They're going to be able to reach a Body Slam, but that is totally fine. I'm not worried about it whatsoever. Body Slam does a solid chunk of damage, and I'm going to be firing off the Sky Attack. This will be taking out the Vigoroth. What do they have in the back? They have their own Obstagoon, so we are running the same back line. I'm going to let this go. If it's an Obstruct, it's going to do basically no damage, which it is, and I'm going to fire off the Sky Attack. And now I'm just going to switch. Their defense is still going to be buffed, but with this big of a health advantage, I'm still in a commanding position to close out this game. Neither Obstruct nor Night Slash will KO. I farm down, and that is a good game. All in all, I'm a massive fan of Obstruct Obstagoon. As I mentioned at the beginning, despite the fact that it doesn't do a lot of damage, the ability to raise your own defense while lowering theirs gives Obstagoon win cons in some situations that previously it just couldn't win. That's not to say that every matchup is improved by just firing straight Obstruct. There are definitely some matchups where the consistent damage of Night Slash is preferred, but this really gives Obstagoon an extra weapon, makes it a more dynamic Pokemon, and overall makes it an absolute blast to play. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a very special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.